How's it going, everybody? It's Nova, and welcome back to another video on my channel. As you can tell from the title of this video, we're going to be talking about the different theories that I have for the next update for 1.14. Now, on the Minecraft Twitter, they have released all 3 trailers for the 3 biomes that they're going to be changing in the next update. And basically, this video talks about how on the 29th of September, there's going to be a Minecon event, and we get to vote on which 3 of these biomes that we want to, update first. And the other ones will get updated as well, but they'll be updated later on in, I guess, the year, or maybe even next year. I'm not even actually sure, but, that's the whole thing with this video right here. And it's actually really interesting, all the stuff that they're going to be putting in. So what we're going to do in this video is I'm just going to watch the video, and I've already seen the video. I already know everything about it. I did a little bit of research on all the stuff that they're adding in, and I'm going to put forth some of my theories on what types of stuff that they could possibly do with the features, and possibly even stuff that they might do in like the future updates after 1.14. But let's get right into it. It's a really cool, it's really interesting. Let's start.
Hi, I'm Jens.
And I'm Agnes. We work on Minecraft. Hi!
Minecon Earth is returning to your screens on September 29th this year.
And we're calling on you to help shape Minecraft's development.
We'd like you to choose which biome we update next. The one with the most votes gets cool new features and mobs. Let's take a look at the options. During the Minecon Earth livestream on September 29th, we'd like you to choose which biome we update next by voting for it during the show.
The one with the most votes gets cool new features and mobs. Our deserts have always felt a little...
In need of refreshment?
No, in need of palm trees. And some friendly guys to keep things interesting. Jens, you know that meerkats aren't actually cats, right? Jens, everyone knows that meerkats are part of the mongoose family.
To the tiger! To the tiger!
Alright, so as you can tell, the first biome is the desert biome. They talked about 2 different things that they were going to update. So obviously they have palm trees, and they were talking about how the desert could use some refreshment, and I kind of agree with them on that. The desert is the only real biome that doesn't have any trees. By putting in palm trees, they're actually giving you the ability to be able to find trees in deserts in case you wanted to make some wooded structures. What I think about the palm trees is they're obviously going to be, they might use the jungle log. That might be one of the the things that they use for the palm trees. They could just create an entirely new block, which would mean new planks, new birch blocks, new stripped log blocks, and other types of wood stuffs, maybe like doors and buttons and pressure plates and the such, and trapdoors. Now, I kind of am interested to see what a palm tree trapdoor would look like, but who knows? Hope it's going to be a new block, but I don't think that they're actually going to be using the same leaf block. They have to, palm trees have palm fronds, and those are not really actually like leaf blocks. They're just like, they're giant leaves. So for them to make a new leaf block for this, yeah, they have to. They would really have to. And that would be a new block for us to use in builds and stuff like that. So now, another thing I noticed is that if you look at the palm tree, most of the time when you grow trees, like in Minecraft, you take the sapling and you put it in the dirt. Well, in the trailer, it actually shows it coming out of sand. So will this be a new tree or a new plant that we can plant on sand? Now, palm trees are actually quite famous for dropping coconuts. They have coconuts that grow on them, and it could be a new food. I don't know. Maybe that could be another way to get milk, because you can also get coconut milk, I'm guessing. I don't really know if that's a thing, but the way that they are planted, the way that palm trees are planted, they don't actually plant with saplings. Now, I don't actually think that other trees get planted via saplings. But I would think that it would be kind of interesting to, instead of using a sapling to replant the palm tree, that you can use a coconut to plant the palm tree, because the coconut is technically the seed of the plant, or the seed of the palm tree. So, that would be quite interesting if they wanted to implement that concept in. There's also something that comes off of the coconuts. It's called coir. It's like COIR. It's actually a type of fiber on the outside of the shell of coconuts. And a lot of the times, people will use this to make things like doormats and brushes and mattresses and ropes. So that would be a kind of interesting thing, is if it drops a coconut and maybe you put it like a crafting table, and you could take the fibers off of it, and you could use that to make, I don't know, maybe you can combine the fibers with string to make like a rope ladder or something. Like you could kind of just throw it off of a ledge, and you could kind of go down it safely, kind of like in most cases it would just be like another type of like ladder or vine that you could just kind of like put up, and hoist up. Now the other thing that they talked about, which I think is probably one of the more interesting parts of all three of these, is the meerkats. Now they talk about how Jens, he kind of puts like a fish down because he thinks the meerkat is like a cat, and Agnes says, "Oh no, it's not a cat, it's a mongoose." So I mean, I'm not really sure if that was foreshadowing a feature or if that was just kind of a joke. But meerkats, their types of homes are underground, so they have a lot of these like homes which are basically giant like networks of underground tunnels. The meerkats are kind of like the animal miners of Minecraft. So maybe it's possible, like if you can tame a meerkat, they could help you guys find ores or something like that. They might be able to or maybe even just help you burrow. I'm not even sure, because you are mining through stone, so they don't really necessarily mine through stone. But the whole thing about meerkats is meerkats have a very interesting vocalization. When they have kind of an alarm system, and one of the main things that meerkats do is they basically they're very popular for like standing up and looking around, kind of watching the area. They're like watchdogs. And the vocalization for meerkats, they have special alert calls that they make around the area, because they live with like a bunch. There's like packs of meerkats are around like 30 or so, but they always make these sounds if like there's like predators nearby, and their sounds change with the urgency. So if something is far away, they might make a normal sound. If something's closer, it might get louder. So maybe they could also kind of like watch your back. I mean, we already have like dogs will chase away skeletons and cats will chase away creepers. But maybe the meerkats can be more like an alert system, where like if a mob is getting close to you or something like that, or maybe it has something to do with phantoms. Maybe they'll know if the phantoms are about to show up. They'll make a sound, and you'll know, okay, watch out, there's something coming my way.
There's nothing quite as Swedish as eating fresh berries.
Or enjoying a freshly crafted campfire.
Why surrounded by 1 or 2 or 5 foxes? The foxes aren't planned to be a hostile mob, right, Jens?
We haven't decided yet.
Onwards!
So the taiga biome is next, and they talk about the berry bush. Now the berry bush is kind of a strange thing, because the berry bush in the trailer doesn't really look like it is a block. I mean, it sort of looks like it's a block, but it also could look like it's a shrub. I mean, obviously, if the berry bush is going to be a thing where you can actually pick the berries, it would be a great item for you to eat when you're just starting out in the world. Kind of like in the previous update, they made kelp, and that's really easy to find. And when you put it into a furnace, you can actually eat it, but it doesn't give you that much health. But it's good to have in the beginning if you're really low on food. So maybe you can get the berries and eat them. Maybe you could use them to tame something, I'm not really sure, but you can also probably use the shears to get the berry bush block itself so that you can use it for decoration. I mean, that would be pretty cool. It would be a picked berry bush block and then a berry bush block with berries on it. So unless they always grow back, which in case it'll always be berries, but it would be nice as an aesthetic, design to place around, oh, hey, look, there's some berries around here, Not to mention, it's not just for aesthetics, it's also, put to good use, because you can actually take a berry and eat it. You could go to someone's house and then just basically eat some of their design, and it would be delicious. There was kelp in the last update, and the kelp item itself, you could first off dry it by putting it into a furnace, and then you could actually make a kelp block. Now I don't think that's going to be like a berry block, but I think that possibly putting in the berry bush might also give us some more options in food making. You might be able to crush the berries into jam and then craft it with bread to make sandwiches, which would just be a better food. Maybe it heals a little bit more health and it gives you more saturation than other stuff. I mean, I wouldn't put it past this to be combined with other foods, and it would be just kind of a better food. Now they talk about campfires as well, and I gotta say, campfires, even though campfires is really cool, it's one of the only thing. It's the only thing in all three of these updates that I find to just be kind of not really a big update. Campfires can be a new way of lighting if you were looking up to light a grassy area, and other lightings don't really fit the design quality. I mean, yeah, you can put glowstone underneath a leaf block and it could look, a little bit, but the campfire really makes an area look like, it's got light. And it fits with, like, most grassy terrain. So, I mean, it doesn't really make sense to put glowstone everywhere because glowstone is like a golden looking block and it's not natural to the area. Because of the fact that the campfires I don't really see doing too much else, they could be something similar to furnaces. Like, it might actually have an inventory you can access and you could put in like coal, or I mean, I don't know why you put in coal, but maybe you can only put in like sticks and stuff like that, and you could only cook food. So it could be like something similar to a furnace but not exactly a furnace, because otherwise the furnace would be, you wouldn't really need a furnace. You could just make a campfire. So maybe it could be kind of like one of those things where you can cook food and you can put sticks on it, like, or logs. I guess you could just put wood into the furnace, or not the furnace, the campfire, and you can cook food, kind of like how campfires generally are. And the last thing in the taiga update is foxes. Now, they did touch upon how they weren't really sure if the foxes might be hostile or not. It could be that maybe the foxes are like the ocelots, because the ocelots, you use like raw fish to tame them, but the ocelots, they won't just like let you tame them. They'll run away if you're like you have to be really careful when you tame them, when you coax them with the fish, otherwise they'll run away. So maybe the fox will be kind of a similar thing, but instead of them running away, they'll just attack you. And I don't really know how that would work, because that might mean you might have to kill them if you mess up. If they find you to be scary, then they'll try and mess you up. But yeah, I mean, if they can be tamed, then I think that they make a really cool pet. I don't really know really what would the difference be between them and other animals like dogs and cats. But I do think that foxes, if you killed them, they'll probably drop some hide that will be able to be crafted into leather. So maybe you'll get some like fox hide. And we also have to think about potions for these guys. So I mean, if we go back to like, the meerkats, if they drop something, I don't know what they could drop, but because meerkats, they dig tunnels, maybe they could drop something and they could use that item in a potion, and it could make a haste potion. You could like dig a little bit quicker. But for foxes, I don't know what they could drop. Maybe they could drop like a foxtail, or I don't know, maybe fox hide itself would be a potion. It could be similar to like the potion of the Turtle Master, where it gives you 2 effects. So maybe it'll give you like night vision, or maybe it'll give you night vision and speed, but it will make you hungry. Or maybe it'll poison you a bit, or something like that. I'm not really sure, but it would be an interesting if they did make it a potion. I don't think they will, but it's whatever.
Yay! Baobabs! They are the best trees.
You and your baobabs. Crazy trees with a silly name.
Still cooler than termites.
Ah, termites. The way they snack on decomposing plants. Just adorable.
Well, neither compares to the long-necked, feathery wonder that is the ostrich.
Hello? So it's up to you to decide which biome we update first. Check out Minecraft.net for more details.
But when do we get to vote?
On September 29th, during the Minecraft on Earth livestream, Agnes.
It was a rhetorical question, Jens.
September 29th!
And last but not least, definitely, we have the Savannah update. Now, they talk about this tree called the baobab. When I looked up these trees, like, the baobabs are actually very, very large trees. They store large amounts of water because the whole point is they're in arid lands, right? So there's not a lot of moisture, and a lot of them actually do die from dehydration, so they're quite rare. So my guess is that these, I mean, obviously they're not going to be all over savanna biomes because savanna's tree is the acacia, so that's the main tree of the savanna biome. So they're going to be a little bit rarer than the other trees. They might actually be really rare, to be honest. But we might get a new wood type, and possibly a new leaf type as well, plus the planks and the bark blocks and the stripped logs and other wood stocks. There's probably not going to be a sapling for it. Mainly because I think that these trees will be implemented more like they are structures. Because these trees are extremely rare, in our world anyway. They're huge, and there's not a lot of them because they constantly are dying from dehydration. They might be rare in terms of you'll just find one every so often, or it might be something similar to the ice spikes biome, where all of a sudden inside of a savanna biome you'll find a large group of the baobab trees, which would be really cool. I mean, to be honest, the baobab trees look pretty cool. The baobab trees really make me want to build a house inside of it. Like, a normal tree would be cool to build a tree house on top of it in its branches, but a baobab house would be, you would just make a hole into the tree and live in it. That would be a really cool thing. In the real world, the baobabs actually drop a fruit, which can be used to make something called baobab powder, which is usually used to make thickeners for jams and gravy. So, as we talked about the berry bushes before being crushed into jelly, maybe to make the sandwich, you need to crush the berries to make the jelly, and you need the baobab powder and bread to make I don't know, some sort of sandwich. I don't know. It would be interesting if you had to find one of these baobab trees to get those types of food. Although I don't necessarily know how you would grow more of it, because that's the one thing that I kind of don't really understand. Is I feel like it would be a problem if you could just grow these like you can any other tree, because they would generate, and since they're already huge, it might pose some problems if you plant it too close to your base, and it will just delete part of your house possibly. Maybe there will be another way to make it so that you can get more of the baobab powder, or maybe it'll just be one of those rare things that you find and the baobab powder or whatever does something else. They also mentioned termites. So they talked about how termites eat decaying plants. So I'm wasn't really sure if they were just referring to the dead bush, or if they were just referring to actual plants that have been in Minecraft for too long. If they're talking about crops, let's say the crops are left out for too long, will termites just show up and start eating them? Or I don't know, because they're not really they're decaying plants, but maybe this is the first time we see an actual pest, an actual crop pest mob in Minecraft. Termites eating wood, though, is probably not a good feature to add, as it would destroy a lot of beautiful builds. So if you build in wood and termites, end up getting, to the build, your build is gone. So I'm kind of wondering, they showed the termite mound in the trailer. So do you think that the termite mounds will be just a structure, and then there will be a spawner underneath it? Or do you think that the termite mound itself is kind of a static area where they will spawn, sort of like the guardians or the witches? And another thing that would be really cool would be using Silk Touch to actually get the termite mound blocks for building, because, they looked kind of interesting. They looked kind of like almost like coarse dirt, but a little bit grayer. I really liked the design. So just like we talked about before with the meerkats, maybe termites will drop an item that if you use it in a potion, you can get a haste potion, because the termites like to eat away things, they'll dig through things. The meerkats seem like they have more uses for other things, whereas the termites, I don't really see a big use. In fact, I see more problems with it, so it would make more sense for them to drop the haste potion, if they, I don't know, if they drop an exoskeleton, or if you found the eggs inside of the termite mounds, then you could put that into a brewing stand and you can make a super cool potion. And the last thing they talked about in the Savannah update was ostriches. Now, oh man, the ostriches are the coolest thing in all these updates. Obviously, the reason why I like ostriches is because there's the possibility that you can ride them. the difference between them and horses or donkeys or whatever is most likely going to be the fact that either they're going to have a higher jump, or when you jump off of things, you'll be able to float down and not take any fall damage, kind of like the chickens. And also kind of like the potion, which they created recently in the last update, with the Phantom Membrane, you can have a slow fall potion, which will allow you to float down kind of like a chicken. There's probably going to be some drawbacks to having an ostrich, like, I don't know, maybe every so often it'll not want to move or something. I don't know, maybe you have to have some sort of item to control it. Other than that, it's probably going to have less health. Probably not going to be able to run as fast. I know that ostriches can run very fast, but I think that the horses will definitely be able to go faster, but the ostriches will be able to jump higher and float down with no fall damage. I want to know your thoughts. What do you guys think is the coolest part of the updates, and what do you guys think about some of the theories that I have been spouting, I guess? And if you guys have any theories, I would love to hear them in the comment section below. And I hope you guys are super excited for these updates coming out. I hope you guys will be watching the Minecon Earth live stream on the 29th and totally be voting for one of the updates. Whichever one you guys want, I hope it gets done. And with all that being said, this is the end of the episode. If you like what you watch, click that like button. And if you want to see more, definitely subscribe. See you guys in the next video.